All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Washed Athlete Podcast. It's going to be our review of the new Marvel movie, Thor: Love and Thunder. I hate you with all of my heart, Raj. Okay. Anyway, obviously we are all big Marvel fans here, and we all saw it. Did we all see it opening night?
No.
No.
That was
I
just
saw
me,
it
Peter,
Saturday.
and Justin. Also,
Justin.
let me preface everything by saying what Raj did is a out of context spoiler, which we'll get into the spoiler section.
Yes. Yeah. So obviously, new movie came out. Whatever. We're going to do non-spoilers first, kind of talk about like general impressions, and then we'll go into spoilers later on. Even though there's really not like that much to spoil really with it, which I feel like for me at least, kind of like just like talking generally, like it was kind of just like a fun Marvel movie. Like there wasn't really anything else going on with it. Like obviously it was a good movie. I don't want to take that away from it, but it was kind of just like in out, very quick, nothing really too hard to look into. It's just like, yeah, it was a good time. I think that's really like my general review of it. So
yeah, I would agree. I think it was a very straightforward movie. I didn't think the plot was complex. It was fun. They did a good job of balancing like the comedy with like the action. I enjoyed the movie. It was really fun. But yeah, there wasn't really anything I had issues with about it. But yeah, very short, quick movie. Would watch again.
there we go.
Agreed. I would say good time, as Peter just put it, is the literal best way to put it. Like you had your comedy elements. Like it was like pretty. Like there wasn't that many sad parts, but there were sad parts when there needed to be with the plot. But the overall tone of the movie was a feel-good movie. It was a fun time. It was funny and pretty lighthearted, I'd say. Like I had a smile on my face for the majority of the movie.
Yeah, no, the movie was. I don't want to say it. I guess you can consider it like a family movie. It was like really lighthearted, honestly.
Oh! I see what you're saying. Where it's like it is like a family-centered movie type.
Yeah,
I see.
Like this is a movie where because I remember when I went to the theater, I literally saw a bunch of parents with their kids there, and I'm like, I don't know if this is going to be that kind of movie for them, but it turned out to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like it wasn't like your typical Marvel like crazy stuff going on. Like you got no Thanos stuff like that, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. And I think one of the more controversial things, I guess, that has like been going on, at least that I've seen, is that like some people thought the comedy went a little too far and that it was like undercutting some emotional moments. Personally, I don't know where that happened because there really wasn't many parts where they kind of undercut like very serious scenes with comedy. And even for me personally, like not all of the jokes landed. Like that's just like how comedy works. It's very subjective. So I think just to say, oh, the comedy was like too much in this, it's like, yeah, it's like that's just kind of the tone of it. But there's still plenty of very impactful scenes in there that actually had me a little bit choked up. I was not expecting it at all. But there were some scenes that actually did get like pulling the heartstrings a little bit. And I was like, oh, I was not really expecting that because they had like such a comedic tone earlier that the setup, it was like, oh, well, like whatever. It's just going to be this kind of like fun action adventure. But then towards the end, it's like, oh, this is a little rough. Jeez.
No, I totally agree with that. Like, exactly. There were scenes like we will get into it in the spoiler section, but yeah, like I said, when it needed to be for the plot, there were moments when you were just like, oh, like it wasn't really happy. It was like, oh, heart was in my throat, like tearing up, like, oh man, it was a good film overall.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody else have any non-spoiler things to add?
No.
No,
Yeah, it's kind of hard.
Get into it.
Yeah.
Actually,
okay, yeah. So we'll go. Oh,
yeah, I got
non-spoiler
one thing.
or spoiler?
Back to what
Okay.
Raj was saying about this isn't a spoiler. This is well known around the internet. The villain was Christian Bale
Yes.
as Gore the God Butcher.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
And you wouldn't necessarily expect a person whose name is Gore the God Butcher to be like, a character in a family-friendly movie. But, it seemed like pretty family-friendly. So it was definitely different than most of the Marvel, projects that have been coming out. But I like it. I liked it, and I think it was I liked the overall tone of the movie. But yeah, let's definitely get into the spoiler section.
Yeah. All right. So from here on out, we're doing spoilers. So if you don't want to get spoiled, go watch the movie, then come back and listen. So yeah, just gonna get it started.
Final warning for spoilers.
Okay.
Please leave
Warning,
now.
warning.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I'd say big thing with it. I was not expecting Jane Foster to die.
Me
I'm just gonna
neither.
throw that out there. I really wasn't expecting that at all. I thought they were gonna kind of like bring her back in like some way besides that, but when they actually killed her off at the end, and it kind of made sense how it's like, oh yeah, now she goes to Valhalla. Like that was really cool, and I was like, oh, this is actually a very good send-off for somebody who absolutely hated being in the MCU beforehand and was allowed to come back. So I was like, oh, that's actually a very nice send-off for her.
Yeah, I thought that she was gonna survive. I thought that after they made it to eternity, that like they would fight Gore, they'd beat Gore, and then like they would wish that Jane can live forever. And then they did beat Gore, but then Gore made it to eternity first. I do kind of like how they have like these weird names for like actual, like they have eternity being the name of like an actual like being.
It's a character.
It's cool. I think it's really cool and funny. But they made it to eternity, and they Gore turned out he was doing this just to get his daughter back. And I thought he was going to, just like wish that all gods were to die, but I mean, he didn't do that. So it was definitely a good change, and I didn't see it happening. But after Jane died, made it to Valhalla, and then saw Heimdall, that was a really cool scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was nice seeing Heimdall again. I miss him.
And did you know that was
Heimdall.
his son, like in the movie?
No,
Like,
that came out of
nowhere.
Like, random. Yeah. So for context, kind of like very abruptly in the movie, they just kind of briefly mention, "Oh yeah, Heimdall has a son," and it's like, wait, what? Like he has a family? Like when did that happen? Like I thought like the whole thing with him is that he was like this like stoic like guardian of the
Galaxy.
Oh my god. We'll get into that. But yeah, he was like this guardian of the Bifrost. That's what I was thinking. Where he's just like kind of like just like stands there with like the sword to like use it as a key. But then it's like, oh no, he's got a family and he's got a wife and kids. Like, just kind of came out of nowhere. And it's like, oh yeah,
above 12 years old too. Like,
yeah, it's like he had to have been around for all of this.
He was still on his shift. He was still working. How does he? How do he get off? How do he get off the clock? That was like he's like always supposed to be there. But no. Going back to Jane Foster's death, definitely unexpected. I actually thought that this was going to be the send-off movie for Thor, as the story went on, because okay, Jane Foster, Mjolnir chooses her. It's kind of like a passing of the mantle to her being Thor. But then it clicked. It hit me. It was like, wait, Natalie Portman, she's kind of a high-tier, high-grade Hollywood actor. I don't think she wants to continue with this. And it made sense in the end. But, like, I genuinely thought it was she was going to take over the Thor role. So that was definitely unexpected. But I think they gave her a really good send-off. And it was really cool seeing her in Valhalla.
I can't believe they killed off that actress.
I hate you so much.
No, that's about.
For context, Jacob has this running bit of just saying that actor or actress when not knowing who they are in a show, and then just saying like, "Oh, you really think they're going to kill off that actor?" And it's like some random extra that's like clearly going to die. But yeah.
Watch the boys,
so the Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh yeah, the Watch the Boys. Yeah, we are all binging that right now. But so the Guardians of the Galaxy are in this in the very beginning. As it was for the first like 15, 20 minutes type thing.
Not even. It was pretty quick.
Yeah, it was like the very, very beginning. Yeah, but I do like that how they kind of just like they had them there at the beginning, and then it's like clearly it's still a Thor story. So like it has that connection to the other like Marvel like franchises, whatever, but it's not like so forced in there. It's just like an extension, and then they're all just like kind of tired of dealing with this crap, so they're like, okay, bye, and then just immediately leave. So I feel like the way they wrote that in was really good because like it was good to see them again, but it was also like this is definitely still a Thor story. So I'm glad they really just put the spotlight on the other Thor characters.
It was really interesting how much narration they used, because like I was expecting
Yeah.
that the Guardians would be in there for a lot longer, and then they were just literally there for a very short battle. Thor's speech during that battle is hilarious. I love that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, they were literally there for like a very short period of time. They were gifted goats, gave the goats to Thor because they clearly didn't want to handle them, and then just dipped out. Like it was really.
Yeah,
So-
that's it. That's it.
For context, that's
A
the
rough
noise that the goats
interpretation.
make roughly.
Yeah, because it's the running joke. It's like the screaming goats, whatever, and they're just giant screaming goats. And I personally feel like they overused that bit a little bit.
Oh yeah,
Like-
100%.
Like
Yeah.
there was a certain point, like it was funny at
was
first,
funny.
but then it was like they kept doing it. It was like 5 or 6 times where like that was the punchline, and it's like, all right, I get it. They scream, and especially in the theater where me, Andres, and Justin went, there was someone that laughed at every single joke
Oh my
that happened
God.
in the entire movie, like loud. It was like behind us in the back left. I was about to turn around and be like, "It's not that funny." Like, stop.
Shut up. Shut up.
Like you don't have to laugh at every single joke. Because for me, like not all the comedy landed, but I still enjoyed it. Like when it did make me laugh. Like it was great, but I wasn't like just rolling over in the middle of the aisle, like dying of everything. It's like you don't need to do that. Like
I
don't know.
Yeah, I think with the goats, like the first time they came on the screen, and they like started screaming and all that. I think it was more.
That was fun.
It was
That-
absolutely
yeah.
hilarious. Like most people were laughing in the theater. The second time, still. But I think more as it went on, I still loved it. I thought it was hilarious, but I think it got like turned more into like a chuckle. Like you weren't like obviously like
Yeah, exactly.
laughing
Exactly.
as much as you were.
That's my thing with it, because it was just like a kind of like a ha. I was like, oh hi, like that's funny.
Yeah.
Versus like somebody like actually just like dying of laughter. It's like, dude, calm down. Like it's not that funny.
And
It's
Like,
not
they got-
supposed to be that funny.
They
And I think at
overused
times-
it.
I think at times though they spaced it out enough that like you might like, and enough happened that you might be like, okay, I kind of forgot about
Yeah,
this.
there is-
and then they bring
yeah.
it back in. So,
Or like they have like some very like serious thing that happens, whatever, and it's like, all right, we know they're free, whatever. So then everyone's like, oh, like thinking about it. Like I guess especially where it's like after Gore gets Stormbreaker, and then they come back to New Asgard, and then everyone's like kind of like freaking out, whatever.
mhm.
And then they come in and it's the screaming goats for like a split second. Like that was a good bit.
Oh, yeah.
Like that was pretty funny. Like that worked, but it wasn't rolling laughing. Yeah.
100%. 100%.
I felt like we were back in 2012 with all those goat like noises.
Oh my god. Gee.
Honestly-
Some monster throwback.
One of my favorite bits was how they did the play thing again in the beginning.
Yes, with Matt Damon.
Yes,
Oh
that
my
was,
God.
that was
I love that.
hilarious.
That was good.
See, we have like a top tier Hollywood actor in like the smallest like little like role. It's just the funniest thing. They got him back, and
Yeah.
he's like doing that small role. It's great.
They got him, and then that's the other person is Liam Hemsworth, the other Hemsworth brother. Yeah, who's returned in his
right.
role as random Thor, which was pretty good. And then Melissa McCarthy was
Oh my
hella
gosh.
in that, and I
That was
wanted
so-
to slam my head to a chair when I saw her walk out there. But I'm very glad they did not use her too much. But like, it was like, okay, she's here, and I was like, dear God, please don't make her a character. Like, because I know comedy is subjective, I know that, but dear God, sometimes with her characters, especially because they're always the same exact character, I was like, don't do this. Don't make her a legit character. It's going to be so annoying.
Yeah.
Alright,
Actually,
what's
oh
up?
my bad. Good.
No,
I was,
go.
I was gonna say real quick. So it's actually Luke Hemsworth, who's the third kind of forgotten brother.
Oh, yeah, it's Luke.
Because
Liam's the
Liam-
other brother. Yeah.
Yeah, he's because there is a lot of speculation that he may be cast as Beta Ray Bill, who was not in this film.
Even though you were banking on that for some reason.
Because it's the fourth Thor. Like I don't know. With I thought it was gonna be Thor's send off. So I was like, maybe we'll get Beta Ray Bill in this like new kind of Avengers that they're building.
But
or
they
something
wouldn't bring
like
in
that.
Liam Hemsworth for Beta Ray Bill when his head is a horse.
Yeah, I know, but hey, he's got the genes for the body though. Come on now.
I mean, yeah, but like you could just get a jacked dude and then put like whatever the thing is on his head and then just like replace it.
Yeah, but it's a Hemsworth, so.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Raj, go ahead.
I mean,
Oh no, I was about to just ask, what's like your favorite like scene from the movie itself?
oh, that's fair. I'd say I think my favorite scene. I think it was the fight on like that really tiny moon. I don't know.
Oh,
they were in like the shadow
zero
realm.
color.
I think it was
Yeah.
called. But yeah, it was like in like full black and white. I really liked that. How it was like they would like, occasionally get lit up by like whatever was like causing like light. So it's like Stormbreaker was like shining a little bit of light onto Thor's face, but then everything else is in black and white. Like I thought that was a really like cool like way to do that because like it makes sense. It's like you're in the shadow realm. Like obviously like all color would leave. It's almost like they're in a black hole essentially. But I really liked how they did that. I thought the cinematography was really cool there, and it was just like a good fight scene too. So yeah, I like that.
No, that's definitely up there for me. I think my other favorite scene, I mean, just because it was so funny to see all the little kids just with Thor's power and Zeus's power.
When could he do that?
I
Could they
don't know,
fight?
but
like, how do they automatically learn to fight though?
because
They
were
got the
blessed
powers
with
of Thor, but like if you could always do that, like why didn't you do that to all of like
The Avengers.
during like the battle for Earth against Thanos in Endgame? Why didn't you make all the Wakandan warriors into Thor? Like, are you kidding me?
He didn't have
what
enough
are we
X-
doing?
he didn't have enough XP to unlock that ability yet.
Oh, sorry, I
But
forgot.
I thought that was
yeah.
peak Thor though, right?
No,
You mean
that's
that Thor?
Infinity War versus
Infinity
Endgame.
War. Oh, okay.
I was saying Endgame.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I was thinking Infinity
Yeah,
War.
yeah. No. Infinity War. He was handling everything himself. Yeah. But
He was trying to get back in blood at Thanos.
oh yeah.
There were like no
But-
stakes in this movie. I felt
Yeah.
Not-
It was
yeah,
kind of just
not
like
really.
like Korg died,
Well-
but then Korg just also.
he just did it.
Yeah.
yeah. Like, that was,
Wait, does anyone remember the Korg joke they made about how he met someone named Dwayne?
Yeah,
Oh,
Yes,
Dwayne.
yes,
I
The
knew
Rock.
he said Dwayne.
Yeah,
I knew
Justin
that
said
was
it
the
wasn't
joke.
Dwayne for some reason.
No,
but
he
it
said
has
Justin
to
said
be
it was Blaine. It's like,
Yeah,
No,
that doesn't make any
he said
sense.
Dwayne.
it's Dwayne
The Rock.
That's the joke.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
I mean, it
Yeah.
was cheesy, but I was just like, ha. That was
That
pretty
was
good.
because again, it wasn't supposed to be like a rolling thing, but it was like, that's good. It's like you could just appreciate it. It's like, like that's clever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think that actually, I forget who said they're really wearing these stakes. Jake,
Oh,
was
yeah.
that you that said
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, Jacob
Yeah.
said that.
Yeah, because it was weird because it was like, oh yeah, everybody or like all the gods are gonna die, but it really didn't. Like you knew that nothing was gonna happen. Like there was no real feeling of like, oh no, like this could happen. It's like, yeah, we know Thor's gonna save the day by the end of it. It's fine. Like who cares?
Yeah.
It's kind of just like, all right, how are we gonna get there?
Yeah.
Let's
Oh,
go.
Don't worry.
Speed along.
Who's after him now? Ares?
No, that's Hercules.
Hercules.
Yeah.
Hercules.
That
Yeah,
would be an
which
interesting
is
matchup right
pretty
there.
funny.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I like
yeah,
how they
you're
just
right.
like killed Zeus, but then not.
Yeah.
yeah. No,
Maybe that's
He
second
died-
time.
The second time was the first time was when Gore killed him. Technically,
Gore didn't kill Zeus.
Gore never
was that
killed
not
Zeus.
Zeus at the beginning?
That wasn't
No.
Zeus.
Oh,
No,
my bad.
no, no,
I
no.
thought that was Zeus.
That was-
Okay.
that was like
no.
very
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
god.
I don't know. Zeus was kind of
No.
disappointed with his power, though.
No, I mean the stakes were so low because what happens if all the gods die? How does that impact the MCU? Like gods never had a big role anyways.
That was the entire point of the movie, is that gods don't do anything. So it's like if they
Yeah.
die, it's like, well then, what's the difference at that point? Like,
Yeah. That is okay. That's
if they were
just something to
already
think
just
about.
like sitting on their asses, not doing anything,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, they're all gonna die. It's like,
What does it matter?
okay, like,
What's the matter?
What changes? And it's like, oh, well then, like, they're left unprotected. It's like, well, isn't the
They didn't protect
point that
people.
if they already don't care and they're already not protecting and like helping people, then it's like, what's the difference?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Literally no difference.
Maybe no Celestials.
Oh no.
I love how we just randomly saw that,
Yeah.
like two of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to be these like all powerful, like omnipotent beings, and they're just like, oh yeah, we're just chilling in like the weird like where was
Omnipotence.
it? Yes,
Yeah.
that was
Was it-
clever.
wasn't it- what is it?
Omnipotent City.
Omnipotent City. Yeah.
That was,
Yes.
it was City?
Yeah.
I thought it was just Omnipotent
Yeah.
City.
No, it's
That's the
omnipotent.
joke, yeah.
Omnipotent
Instead of
City.
omnipotency,
Yeah.
it's omnipotent city.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, exactly. Like again, it's like just like clever stuff like that. Also, my favorite joke in the entire movie. No, I don't think anybody in the theater caught this besides me, because they were going
That's a good one.
through and they were saying like, "Oh, this is the god of whatever. This is the god of like whatever." And then they go, "Oh yeah, that's the god of carpentry." And then they don't show him, and then they keep walking.
Have Jacob and Raj guess. You guys have to guess who it was because Peter
Who's
told
the
me.
god of carpentry?
I don't know.
It's Jesus. That was the joke.
Oh.
Because he was a carpenter.
Wow.
That was the joke. I was like,
No, I did not.
that was
I-
really.
I get a free pass on not figuring that one out.
Oh no, yeah, you're good. No, but I heard that. I was like, that is so funny. Like that is so good. They just casually mention that and they just keep going.
No, I did not realize that at all.
That was a good catch. That was a
Yeah.
good catch.
It was so funny.
Oh, that's a good shout.
Oh, yeah, then there was also like the dumpling god, whatever that was.
Oh, yeah.
the bow. The bow.
The bow. Yeah.
It's just a
god of
Disney.
bow.
Just a nod to Disney's Pixar's little short.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. That was like I feel like at a certain point it's like I like the comedy in that, but like come on. Really?
Wait. What if that's just like
Don't
like
you dare.
a symbol
dare.
for Disney being a god in the industry and owning everything?
You're reaching here.
Yeah,
You're reaching here. Oh,
No, that's
God.
that's the whole bit is that I am reaching.
Yeah. No, I got you. But it's yeah. I mean, like obviously, like for me, not all the comedy landed, and I think it was like the low stakes kind of just made it feel like there wasn't like a whole lot of point to the movie because it was like, oh, well, Thor's finding himself for like the third time. Like, okay, like did he figure it out yet? Like, does he? Like, oh, he's a dad now. It's like, okay, but then who's to say he's not going to just switch up again for like the 10th time?
Speaking about Thor being a dad now, so I just found out today, which one of my friends told me, is that Gore's daughter, which is now Thor's daughter, is apparently actually Chris Hemsworth's daughter in real life, which I did not know that before.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
Is that the
Yeah,
fun
so I was like,
fact?
I love
okay,
that.
yeah, that was the fun fact.
Yeah,
Let me just
that's
double
really
check
cool
that,
fact.
but that was what I was told. Yeah,
That's really, really cool. If that's true, that's awesome.
I'm
Yeah.
checking that right now.
Yeah, so then I guess she is eternity. I guess that's the whole thing, is that it's not just like, oh, she's the daughter.
Yeah, it
she is eternity, but also Gore's daughter.
Yeah.
I think that's how that works.
So what's that mean?
That means she has the powers of eternity, but I don't know what those are.
Okay, interesting. But
Exactly.
I
I'm
don't
like,
Yeah.
They don't say
Let's go ask the Eternals. Maybe they know.
no. That movie's so
they
bad.
can
gosh.
stay away. They can leave.
That movie's so bad.
The Eternals will return. Also, Thor will return.
Yeah, 4,
Yeah.
5. Like, come on.
I'm not gonna lie. They're kind of beating a dead horse now with another Thor movie, possibly. Like, what can they possibly do?
Well,
What
he's
can they
the
talk
only
about
one-
now?
He's the only one of the two. Yeah, but the thing is, he's the only one of the big three to have more than 3 like independent movies. And like, you could argue at the Iron Man movies, there were only 2 good one, or only 1 good one, and that was all he was given. But now Thor has 4. Like, they're
Yeah.
they're like, they better be paying Chris Hemsworth well. They better be
Yeah.
giving him a fat paycheck.
Oh yeah.
He really
Which
was
they probably
carrying
are.
this movie too. He is so naturally charismatic. It's ridiculous. Like
Yeah.
some of the lines that he was saying, like there is like he has no right being that funny or like being that good and also being that jacked. Like it's not fair. Like at all. Like you have to be funny or jacked. You have to pick one. You can't have both. You're too powerful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
one thing I liked was how Stormbreaker felt like he was getting cheated on.
Oh my
Oh, that was
God.
funny. That's funny.
That was kind of funny how like they made the weapons into like actual characters.
Yeah.
Like I never really thought about it like that, but they kind of are like pets essentially.
They are.
I mean, you got Doctor Strange's cape that's basically its own.
Yeah.
I like that.
But yeah, like I would have wanted to try out like Zeus's lightning bolt, and definitely try out like Mjolnir that can like go split into a million pieces. Then that'd be cool.
I will say that was kind of convenient, where it was like, oh yeah, Mjolnir could just reforge itself. It's fine.
Huh.
It's like,
how did Thor not figure that out?
Exactly.
Yeah, I kind of
like,
want to know how they like why Jane could just do that from reading a book.
Because, well, it's like, oh, well, it was like calling to her because she was worthy. It's like, but Thor was also worthy.
Yeah.
That's the point. What? But you know what? It's some plot conveniences. I am willing to just ignore those for a hot sec. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else. I mean, like, that's the thing about this movie. Like, it was just like, there's not a whole lot of like deep substance to it. It kind of just like, yeah, it was a good movie. Glad I watched it. What, like, could I watch it again? Yeah. Would I? I don't know. I don't know if I would. Just because, like, not a whole lot going on with it. And that's not a bad thing. Like, I'm fine with having just like, like a simple movie every once in a while. That's just like low stakes, even though all of the gods in the universe were going to die. But, comparatively speaking, it doesn't really feel like they were very low stakes. But, I think I'm all right with it.
No, yeah.
What impact this movie would have had on the MCU?
That's like
a
that's
new character.
Standalone.
Cool.
Eternity has already been found. Like, that's basically it.
But it's not even
and,
like that
other
was,
gods
important before this movie, like at all.
Exactly. Also, why didn't Thanos go after that then?
That is,
like, if you could just,
Like,
why would you go after the Infinity Stones if you could just literally make a wish with eternity to do anything you wanted?
Yeah.
Why didn't they? So Thor was alive. Why didn't he just use Stormbreaker? I mean, he probably didn't figure it out.
Because he didn't know about it, I guess. But it was like,
oh,
well, it was prophesized to be whatever. It's like, well, what?
Well, I mean, I don't know if he could have, but all Thanos, if he knew about Stormbreaker, all he had to do was go to what's his name? Peter Dinklage's character.
Make it.
He's just the giant dwarf, but instead of asking for an Infinity Gauntlet, you ask for Stormbreaker. That's assuming he knows about it. Less bloodshed.
Yeah.
You just summon the Bifrost. You go into eternity and call it a day. No bloodshed. Your wish is true.
Yeah.
But now it suddenly exists. So that's how it works. And like, I honestly regret a take I said that could have been. I got to think about if this is better than Ragnarok or not. It was not, because Ragnarok was better in many different ways. Like, Thor found himself again, but the thing about that is that, like, it was cool. It was cool because he's not the god of hammers; he's the god of lightning, which I thought was cool.
That is such a better emotional payoff. I absolutely loved that so much. That was so good. God,
and that's a huge part of his character now, and then that continued throughout like the Infinity Wars, the End Game. So that was cool. And I think like, it wasn't the comedy. I think was done a little better in Ragnarok. Ragnarok was way more significant to the great MCU, obviously, because you have Odin's death, you have Thor
Asgard
losing
nuked.
Yeah. Asgard getting nuked. Mjolnir getting destroyed. Like, there's a lot going on.
Thor becoming absurdly powerful. Like,
yeah, and like they integrated Doctor Strange in like a perfect manner into that movie. Nothing was like forced. A frame of a celestial.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, that's the kind of stuff that I like, where it's like it shows that there's other people like in the universe, whatever, but they don't overstay their welcome. They're kind of just like in out. Like, they serve their purpose and then they're off doing their own other thing. Like, that's like how the Guardians were used in this. Like how Doctor Strange was used in Ragnarok. That's a really good point. Yeah. Like, I really enjoyed that. Yeah.
I will say though, everybody likes a crossover.
Yes, everybody does like a crossover.
Oh yeah.
And not all movies have to be crossovers, but I do like when they're used kind of sparingly, and like they really do have a true purpose to, like, it's like, oh well, we need like this. It's like, all right, we got to go find this character. Like, they have a purpose, whatever, and then they're out. Like, yeah, I like that. because not everything has to be Avengers Infinity War all the time, but or Endgame all the time. But I mean, those are really cool when they do have the build up to them. And also, speaking of which, what is the next like big thing that's gonna
Secret Wars, I guess.
Is it
I don't
Secret Wars
know.
or is it Secret Invasion?
It's Secret Invasion, but then it's not even confirmed to be like a team up type movie. Because while we're talking about like collabs or the lack thereof, like I guess now's a good time for me to go through the separate timelines we got, and if I forget any, just remind me. So
Oh my god,
we have I guess this Thor and his new child one. So we have that. We have the Shang-Chi one, which I'm kind of surprised wasn't really tied into the Doctor Strange one because Wong took them in at the end of the movie. But so I guess they're still separate, and you have an Abomination in there too. So there's a lot going on there, and that's all we saw was that one scene, but we didn't see what happens with Abomination. So we have that. So we can consider the Doctor Strange one separate as well, because at the end that one woman takes him into the portal or whatever, and I think she's Dormammu's daughter or something, like some relation to Dormammu.
Niece.
Yeah. So we got that going on. We have the separate Moon Knight storyline going on. We have, I guess, Kate Bishop,
Loki.
we have the Loki one. The Kate Bishop Hawkeye one, which I guess ties into the Madam Hydra, John Walker kind of thing, and then also Echo,
Captain America, Winter Soldier, Echo,
Daredevil now, technically.
Will eventually be a thing.
Will eventually, Oh, and
Spider-Man.
then Spider-Man.
Yeah.
She-Hulk's coming up too.
Mm-hmm. Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel's going on. Yeah. What are the other shows?
There's a lot.
Vision.
I mean, the only Vision.
White Vision is just out there.
Yeah.
Nobody's heard from him in
I guess.
forever.
Why was he not in Multiverse? I don't know. Why was he not in Multiverse of Madness at all? I don't understand.
He could have prevented all of that just by going to Wanda and be like, "It's okay, I'm here for you." La la la.
Or just be there and distract her. He'd be a distraction for her. But I guess the only storylines we have that are kind of coming together like a typical MCU fashion is the Madam Hydra one, because that one's Falcon Winter Soldier kind of combined with Hawkeye.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only one I feel that's kind of together. And then we have the Guardians who are doing their own thing now that Thor's separate from them. So, and then we have Black Panther 2 coming up as well.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a whole other separate thing. I think that's scheduled for November, but we haven't released.
That thing's getting pushed back. We haven't seen a single trailer or anything about that. That is absolutely getting pushed back.
Yeah, so there's a lot. Oh my god, and the Eternals also are still doing their thing.
Yeah,
with Harry Styles now. So,
oh god,
I lost count, but there's a lot going on.
Speaking of which, I remembered they completely forgot about Adam Warlock at the end of Guardians 2. I said that after I left Thor, and I was like, thinking about all the stuff that's going on. I'm like, wait a minute. They completely forgot about him.
Wait,
and
don't we also have Blade?
Blade is coming up too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wasn't there one of the,
with Mahershala Ali.
Wasn't there a golden child in one of the one of the children that was?
Yes, there was.
Yes.
There was.
Yeah. So it was one of the perfect being things. I forget what they were called. But yeah, the funny thing is that Adam Warlock in the comics is incredibly important to the Infinity Saga.
Oh yeah.
I think he's the one that wields the gauntlet by the end or something like that. But he's very important. And they're like, oh, I guess I'll call him Adam. And then never talked about him again. Nothing even close to it. So
he's got to be in Guardians 3.
Maybe in Guardians.
He has to. That's the only opportunity at this point.
3? I guess.
And they can't even use the excuse that, he wasn't ready yet, when literally they reveal him at the end of Guardians 2.
It was he's ready.
He is ready.
Call him Adam.
So
what were they doing?
I don't know. I just want to know how they incorporate the Eternals, because there's so much wrong. There's so much wrong with that movie itself, and then how it relates to the MCU, where they've been and everything. We need answers.
And then I guess now after Thor, it's Wrath of the Gods, because Hercules is going to kill Thor. So there is. And then at the end of No Way Home, it's that the Skrulls were replacing Fury, because he's in the middle of like space somewhere on Sword. Because that's a different thing than it's like the space version of Shield, and like that's a thing that they forgot about.
We also have Monica Rambeau and all that.
Yeah, she's separate too. I guess that ties into the Secret Invasion. I think the only Secret Invasion ties we have was that it was tied into. It was Far From Home at first because they had that one post-credit scene with Nick Fury, and then WandaVision, which Monica Rambeau's just out of the picture now, and Scarlet Witch died in Multiverse of Madness, so I guess that's just separate. I don't even know. There's a lot, but
did we mention Loki?
What's up?
Okay.
Yeah, we did
Loki.
briefly. Yeah, just briefly pass by the fact that multiple timelines are getting absolutely smashed into one universe. Yeah, but we just briefly passed by that.
Yeah. Which Loki technically should be the biggest overarching MCU plot point going into the next big collab because that was everything.
There's too much going on. Like I say this every time we review something about Marvel. Every single thing is the end of everything, and it's like, which one do I care about? Like, which is more important than the other ones? Because there's so many happening at the same time. It's like, why do I even care about any of this at this point? Because nothing has changed in any of these.
Yeah,
one movie won't impact the next, and it's like, who cares?
Don't worry, Kevin Feige's brain is so big, he's gonna find a way to get all this to work.
He always holds it down.
Yeah. He does. But I will say,
he better.
Is this unanimous feeling, general consensus, that the MCU is currently on a decline?
Yes.
Its
quality clearly has been going down. I mean, it's very hard to
It's hard. The bar's so high.
Endgame, but I mean, I think they honestly should have I think they just need to go back and start small again. I think they did a good job, by having Spider-Man be the kind of the next, almost epilogue to Endgame, where it's this is a much smaller stakes. This is not the end of the universe. This is him just fighting villains, whatever. It's fine. But then it's they immediately started ramping things back up after that, and it's just dear God, every single thing is the end of the world, because the whole thing with Thanos is that it's this is the first time, and this is the one big thing that's about to happen, that everybody is going to die, ignoring the fact that they did, but that this is the one thing that we need to focus on, versus we have timelines coming together, we have multiverses coming together, we have this coming together, we have that coming together, everything's gonna die, all the gods are gonna get murdered by this random guy called Gore. What is happening? There's so much going on.
Dude, that's such a good point in that how we had before your Infinity Wars, we had the smaller scale kind of stakes, and then now not all of Phase 4, but a lot of it has been we have each of these independent films, but all of them have the same stakes of the universe ending instead of the smaller stakes, which is
exactly
that's not good. I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah, it's just not as good. It's not as good as it was. And I hate to be a cynic and feel like I'm now, be back in my day already, but it's it's very, very obviously not as good as they once.
But also with having introduced all those characters to beat Thanos, you can't really scale down that much. You always gonna have to because you're always gonna be thinking
that's a fair point.
Okay, this all just happened.
Well, what's this person doing?
What's Captain Marvel doing? She's just out there and she's one of the most powerful people. What's Wanda doing? So.
Oh yeah, wait, that's a good point. They haven't addressed Captain Marvel. Ever
Captain Marvel's just doing.
She's just she's policing the galaxy.
Awful.
What does that even mean?
Why wasn't she there for Thanos in the first place?
Yeah, I don't. Whatever. Ignoring.
What's more important than the universe? What?
We're ignoring it. We're ignoring it.
But yeah, that's said and done. We just don't even know what she's up to now.
That is a very good point, Jacob, though, because you can't scale it down too much, because now that you've introduced all of these characters, it's hard to just kind of say oh well, if something's going on, why didn't all the heroes just come together again?
Yeah,
and that's why I do in stories where they kind of have not necessarily another superhero be it's not like a buddy cop kind of thing where it's it's the two superheroes the main leads, but it's one of the lead superhero is we need to go recruit somebody else and bring them in for a little bit, and then it's they kind of go off and do their own thing. that's where it's like I think it's like you can kind of pull like everybody back in. So it's not like, oh, what were they doing the entire time? It's like, oh, well, they were in this for a little bit, but we learn that they're off doing that. So it's like you kind of bring them back in a little bit, but not just entirely into the movie. But yeah, I don't know. Basically, all I'm hoping for is that they don't botch Daredevil, because now that they have announced that Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio are coming back to reprise their roles, I am terrified that they are going to ruin it, because if they do, I will burn Kevin Feige's office.
They will.
And
I'm calling my shot.
They're going to.
They probably will. After that,
they're going to.
After
I
that
know
Kingpin
they're going
performance.
to. Like, I know they're going to botch it, and it's just so sad. It's so sad. Because, the bar is so low at this point, because you literally have all of this material to work with from past seasons, and they're just going to be like, nah, we're going to take it our own direction, and then it's going to suck. And then it's like, what was the point of this? Like, you clearly were just using, like, every last ounce of, like, actual talent that was put into the original Daredevil series, and they were just like, all right, well, you guys did all this, we're going to take it our own way and completely ruin it, but we're going to make a lot of money off it. So that's what matters. Yeah. Can't wait for that.
Regardless, we're all going to see the movies, so...
I'm still a shill at this point. Like, it's, I'm still going to go see. I'm going to cry when they're bad, but I'm still going to go. Like,
Marvel has us wrapped around their fingers. They've done it.
They do.
I love being a part of corporate
America.
Capitalist society.
I love corporations. God.
Okay,
reduce
Homeland.
every
Okay,
single.
Homelander.
Yeah.
Relax, Homelander.
We need to make less regulations for mega corporations that are totally not monopolies, but definitely are. We need to give them less regulation. That's what we need. That's what we need. Yeah.
Trickle down economics.
Let's let Vought take over.
Let's let Vought take over. Yeah. Well, I will say, there is some hope for the superhero genre as a whole, because shows like The Boys and like Invincible, I feel like, are both doing a very good job at being their own thing. They are very, like, clearly so much talent and effort is going into those shows, and they are clearly people that understand the comics, understand what those are about, and is just trying to, like, make the best stories possible. But they also, like, they're so good. Like the Boys is so good.
It's such a good show.
We watched, I think it was like 6 episodes yesterday, which is like 6 hours worth of it. Like, it was so good. Oh my god!
Is it better than Invincible so far?
Well,
I wouldn't say that yet.
I wouldn't say it's just straight up better than Invincible, because they are kind of similar. Where it's like superheroes aren't all good, whatever, but they are very different. And also the fact that The Boys has 3 seasons and Invincible only has 1 season right now. Yeah, so it's a little hard to compare. Yeah, it's like, it's different flavors. Yeah. It's different flavors of evil superheroes. Also,
I was going to say, I just saw on Instagram, IGN gave The Boys season 3 a 9 out of 10. So,
wow.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. And with the way that this show's been going so far, I'm not surprised at all that it's getting rated that high. It's very good.
Extra cycle, I guess, on this.
Exactly. And if I could have one thing, well, actually 2 things. One is that the Daredevil show doesn't get bodied, but I know it will, so that's kind of a pipe dream at that point. But for DC, make a good Superman movie.
They won't.
You already botched it with Henry Cavill. I know you're going to botch it again. But please just make a good superhero movie with Superman.
He was good. He was a good Superman.
You're asking too much from DC right now.
You are. He was a good Superman.
God.
That's a whole different beast to talk about.
Like, I just want a superhero who's good because it's the right thing to do. Is that so hard?
Yes.
Please.
Have you met Homelander?
That's like, I love the evil Superman idea. Like, it's a great idea, but can we please just get a nice Superman again? Like,
That's what Superman
please.
is. That's what he is.
That's the entire point of Superman is that he's literally just nice.
He's
because
justice.
It's the right thing to do.
In a not dark way like Batman.
Yeah, he's like, well, because the whole bit is that it's like he's just a guy from Kansas who then found out he was a superhero. But they, especially, like, I love Man of Steel, but they treated him too much as like a god when that's not supposed to be the point. It's like he's just supposed to be a guy, like, who can do all these amazing things, yes, but he's just supposed to be a good person.
Yep.
And I feel like a lot of the times I think superhero shows and stuff kind of miss that. And obviously, like, The Boys and Invincible, that's the entire point, is that it's like, this is what happens when absolute power corrupts absolutely. But in, like, other stuff, it's like, can we just have a good person, please? For once, DC, can you do something? Like, Marvel's on the downswing right now. Like,
This is their chance.
now's your time. This is your chance. Like, people want something different. Look how, like, people loved the Batman. And that's a great setup because they're like, because it's, everybody's like, oh, he's like so edgy, so emo, whatever. But then he comes into the end where he's like, I can't be a symbol of vengeance. I need to be a symbol of hope. And that's the entire point. And I love that.
Yeah.
Like, please, can we have good superheroes again? I want it.
What happened?
It's not possible.
Yeah,
but
they have the perfect opportunity. It's on a tee for them. I personally think that they might have better heroes and villains than Marvel, but they just can't do it on the big screen. And I think that
fumbling the
DC
bag.
has literal gods, so like it's like, how do you butcher making like Darkseid into a crazy villain?
Yeah, I mean, I think we might see a big tide switch in that these it might be a time for where third-party heroes like the Boys, Invincible, like, they might be the new big thing. I mean, look how they're gaining a lot of traction right now, and rightfully so. They're so fun, like, they're so refreshing, and just the writing, everything about it is just great.
It's a time for the knockoff superheroes to step up.
I mean, it's hard to create something original at this point because almost everything's been done. It's just what you do with that.
Yeah, exactly.
I think The Boys is the best superhero show I've seen. Yeah, honestly.
Whoa, coming from you.
Take Arrow?
Yeah, I would say it's the best one I've seen.
Wow. What?
It's official on the Washed Athlete podcast. Jacob said that the Arrow show is dog water. Okay.
He exactly said that.
He said this word for word. It's dog water. All right. So if anybody else has anything to say,
I got a question for you, Peter. Do you think this has the potential to be better than Daredevil from what you've seen?
Look, I think I might. Because the thing is about Daredevil, it's not just like a good superhero show. Like, it's like they actually have, like, if you like look at it, especially the first season and the third season, they have, it's like the cinematography, like the lighting, like there's like so much more than just like a good story within Daredevil. I feel like just the quality of Daredevil is so unbelievably good. And granted, I've only seen 6 episodes of The Boys, so maybe I'll change my mind. Maybe they're just going to come out of nowhere with some like great film work. But for me personally, I love Daredevil not just because it's a great superhero show. It's a great medium for film. It's like it shows how much effort you can put into something. And you can put, like, not only can it be a good superhero show, it's a good show because you can look at it from, like, whatever angle you want to. From the casual fan who just likes when the good hero punches somebody, or the film nerd who can then appreciate the cinematography behind some of these shots. Like, that's why I really love it. But The Boys, it with the pace it's at, it could change my mind. It could, just because of how good the story is.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I guess we derailed a little bit, but I from Thor: Love and Thunder. But I guess where would you guys rank it in? Like, what tier would you say it is, and like give like a little number, like area of where you think it ranks in your MCU list. Like, you don't have to give it a set number, but just like
I
a
have
range.
it out actually already. It's like
Okay.
B
And what tier?
And it's going to be like the 12th or 13th maybe.
Okay.
I have it solid B. I don't know a number off the top of my head. I'd have to look at my tier list and I'll feel like it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely like, I'd say like lower B. I don't know what number that would be, around probably like 15 or 16, maybe something like that. I don't really know. I'd have to like actually look at it, but definitely like mid to low B. I think right now is where it's sitting for me.
Yeah, I had a lot of recency bias after watching it. Like I was like,
Yeah.
okay, it was fun, but
Bro, you walked out of the theater, you go, yo, this is top 10.
no, I said it could be in my top 10. I
Yes,
said it
you
could
did.
be. I said it could be. I tend to do that with movies after I watch them if I've like
Immediately.
if I'm happy after watching it. But after giving it some thought, I'm honestly right with you on that, Peter. Mid to low B and like 15, 16 type ranking there. And then what's everyone like, I guess, looking forward to going forward in the MCU? Like what projects or what do you want to see?
A good movie.
You've seen good movies though, like in this phase.
Well, No Way Home. No Way
Shang-Chi
Home.
was,
Yeah.
Well,
I would
yeah.
say Shang-Chi.
Like
Shang-Chi.
I want consistency though, not like
I think that's what you
You
want
go-
to see out of Marvel then.
it's like we went from like no, but what when Shang-Chi, then it was Eternals. Yeah, that was rough.
That was a tough trend. Yeah.
Yeah. So Raj wants to see consistency. It doesn't matter what he sees; he just wants good stuff.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, for me, I just hope Daredevil's good. It's not going to be, but maybe Blade will be good. I like the way I really really like the cast of who they have as Blade. Mahershala Ali, he's a really good actor. So I think there's potential there, but who knows? Who knows at this point? With Raj, just consistency, and maybe not every story needs to be the end of all of the multiverse and time itself and everything. So, yeah.
You, Stephen, are the real problem. Doctor Strange will return in Multiverse of Endgame midness. Matt, I don't know. There's so much. There's too much going on.
Mid.
Yeah. For me, I think I'm gonna have to say the Madam Hydra storyline. I want to see what they're gonna do with that.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah,
really?
I really think that's a cool concept. So I want to see what they're gonna do with it.
No, that's a great. That's definitely up there for me. But I think there's a project I got in mind that I'm just looking forward to, and it's Black Panther 2 because I love Black Panther. I love the first one, and like I just want to see what they do with this because I know nothing about what's going to happen. So I'm just curious. It's more curiosity and everything, and also just my love for the Black Panther.
All right. So, unless anybody else has anything to say, this will conclude our Thor: Love and Thunder review with a massive left turn in the middle of that, kind of just talking about all superheroes in general, but that's kind of just how we roll things around here. A nice little tangent right at the end there for anybody that's enjoying that. We'll have the podcast coming out this week. Check out all of our other reviews, and whenever any new Marvel, Star Wars, really any nerdy movie drops, we'll definitely drop a review. So if you all enjoyed this, keep your eyes out for any of those other reviews. And yeah, so that's going to be it. Peace out, everybody.
Peace.
I hate you.